Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to discuss very important topic in JavaScript called it hoisting. What's that? This is basically once you write your script in JavaScript file and start to debug or run that script, it's basically JavaScript go and take a look about the whole idea what's going on that file, how many functions are there, how many variables are there, and he start executing line by line. But we need to understand how JavaScript work with that. What's basically the mechanism of JavaScript? To understand this topic, we need to have an example. So here is it. In today's example, I will start by defining three variables, x and y and z, but with different data type and with different definition type. What's that? I will define one of them var, the other one will be using let, and the other one will using const. Alright, so here is that x, for example, equal 5, and for example, y equal 7, and for example, z equal 9. Alright. So in any programming language, if you would like to display any of your variable, all you have to do is come after them and just start by saying, please, console.log x or y or z. And look at that. Do you think right now it's gonna work? Yes, this one gonna provide you 5. And here is it. The output is telling you it's already 5. Perfect. And if I tell him about y, he gonna tell me that one equals 7, straightforward, and as well with z it will be 9. But guess what? If you take that part as a cut and put it in the top of your file before you define any variable, what do you think? He gonna tell you this one equals 7, or he gonna tell you there is an error? Yes, with let he will tell you there is an error. Here is it, unquote reference error, cannot access y before initialization. I told you JavaScript working with a mechanism called hoisting. What's that? If we change the y to be z, what it will happen? As well, he told me you cannot print or display the on the screen yet. But guess what? If we try to print x on the screen, look at that. He told you undefined. Oh, so if I said var, he will tell me undefined. Otherwise, if I said let or const, he will tell me an error. Yes, because listen, the default value in JavaScript is undefined. So guess what? The mechanism JavaScript hoisting is working like that. Once you write a script in your JavaScript file and JavaScript start to work with that file, he will scan that file and he knows that you got a variable called x, but it didn't initialize yet. So it got the default value, which is basically undefined. And later on, he will, once he reach this line, he will start to define this variable. And once he reach to this line, he will start to define and initialize it. Define and initialize it. But the difference between var and let in JavaScript hoisting, that here is that JavaScript knows that there is a variable called it x, but he don't know about y, he don't know about z yet. So this is basically the concept of JavaScript hoisting. Do we got other cases in our work? Yes. Let's see together. Look at that. Here is that if you said, var f1, and this one actually it's an assigning to a function. All right. So here is that the function, and that one just have nothing, console.log, and here is that we are seeing hello from function 1. Look at that. The other part, if I said function, all right, but this time function 2, all right, and here is that I will say console dot log, and this time hello from function 2. Alright, so what it will happen here? Here is it from JavaScript hoisting port. He will do what? He will start by scanning this file. He knows that you got a variable called x. He doesn't know about those two variables, and he know about that function which is called function 2. But he didn't even know that one is a function. Because of what? Because he see that this, just an object or anything, and you are assigning this object to this variable. So he consider this one is a variable called it f1. He doesn't care about if it function, if it array, if it anything. All right. So if you try to call function 1, here is that if we said f1 here, look at that. He will tell you what? He will tell you as well undefined, because he doesn't care, it is not a function for him. But if we tell him about function 2 on that one, look at that. He print for you the function itself, because he know by end of day that one is a function. Look at that, because he know by end of day that one f2 is a function. Okay, so hopefully that one is very clear for you and you understand. Here is it one more part. What about Darwish? If we define a function 3 inside a function 2. All right, and what do you want? If you would like to print out function 3, guess what? What it will happen in that case? Wow, he told you it is not defined, because he cannot see function 3 yet. All right, because this one is inner function 2. Anyway, thank you for watching and keep coding, and see you in next session.